Braxcast time once again. This is the 37th episode of the Braxcast, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. But before we get into the big news that I'm sure you all want me to talk about, I want to show off some graded comics. So the Isom 1 signature series has closed, and it's beginning it's already fulfilling. And I want to show off basically all of my graded copies that I got since I got them all. So this is a concept art book, a 9.9. Of course, you can see signed by the man himself. There's the back. And then we've got, so you can move that, yes, like there. We've got cover A. It's a bit hard to get it all in frame there, but that is the signature right there. Beautiful cover A. Of course, this is a 9.9, the first two. And then you've got cover B, which when the Isom 1 campaign first launched, cover B was my initial reading copy. So I've got a special attachment to cover B, and to have a signed and graded copy with that nice, gold signature series is a really nice thing. So it's great that they're able to do this signature series for the fans. And now we've got cover C. This is the mass print cover. Excuse me, that signature right there. And again, I love this color. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of action going on. It's a really nice cover, and it's nice to have a signed and graded copy signature series, right? Like that. But with that, we're going to get some more into the news. Andrew, who I've had on Braxcast twice, is hosting Control Z, basically an artist corner for the Rippaverse, and he brought on basically all of the in-house artists for the Rippaverse. Cannon White, the lead art director, Marcos, the concept artist, and Igor Shackle does a lot of the website designs. He did the back cover for Isom #1. That's his artwork, if you can see that there. So he's done, and he does a lot of the website assets as well. So they're all artists. It's named Control Z. That's the command for undo, which is what artists use a lot when they're working in the digital medium. And I watched the intro a bit, but I'm sure it was a really fantastic interview, or a fantastic show, I should say, because, Andrew is a great guy, and I've had him on Braxcast twice. He was very fun to have on. So we're moving on to the really big news. So Halloween happens, right? And we have, throughout the month of October, this, big event in terms of this quiz that was going on throughout all of October, one question a day. The 31st comes along, we get that quiz dropped, and I did release all of the answers, and I know one of them wrong, the other was marked as wrong. So if you got those wrong because of me, I apologize. But it all ended with the Bloodruth campaign. So the Bloodruth campaign just drops on Halloween morning, like around 5 a.m. my time on Eastern. And I'm filming this on Saturday, November 2nd, and we're at 5,000 books sold, over $300,000 on this collection. That's going to be running for 80 days, ending on the 20th of January 2025, and fulfillment should begin around that time. It's marked for the first quarter of 2025, so I imagine it's going to be towards the end of January when that fulfillment begins, and this is a really exciting one. I've always loved the Bloodruth as a character since her introduction in Isom #2. The supernatural element she hints at. We learned more about her Dokumon, or we learned more about her with her Dokumon card, knowing that she has brothers, that her powers come from a family bloodline. The pun definitely intended. And now we're going to learn more about her. Of course, the Saskas are going to be writing this book. Michael Montanet is the artist. He won the Isom 2 fan art contest, and that got him the gig to be the interior artist for for Bloodruth #1, I should say. And it looks like it's going to be an absolute banger. And of course, I watched the trailer. Hopefully you have as well. And there's definitely a lot of religious themes being alluded to. Now, it's a little bit hard to see here, but this is one of the preview pages. But if I can show you right here, this says Adonai, which is the Hebrew name for Yahweh. It's one of the names that the Jews refer to as Adonai. It means like Lord my God, I believe. So there's definitely a lot of religious imagery. There's definitely an implication that because of Cain killing his brother Abel and him being condemned by God to work the land and have nothing. I'm paraphrasing that story in Genesis. That there's the damned, they're attracted to the damned. That's what they say. So there's definitely a lot of religious themes going on here. Definitely specific to the Abrahamic religions, based off of Genesis, and that's not just the Jews and the Christians. You've got the Samaritans who only believe in the Pentateuch. You've got like the Baha'i faith, of course. You've got Muslims who believe that they're descendants from Abraham's son with Hagar, Ishmael. So this is, going back to, you could say, the core mythology that is behind a lot of religious beliefs for people today. So just little details like that. It's really interesting to see what Bloodruth's story is going to be. Now, of course, we know this isn't going to be a full-on origin story. And again, you see here, if I can show it off a little bit better, there's definitely some... And so it's all hard to see, but I'm trying to show off that you've definitely got something that looks like Mother Mary there. So there's definitely a lot of religious themes going on, and the fact that Bloodruth's story coincides with events that happened in Genesis and the Pentateuch is going to be really, really interesting to get into and see how the Saskas handle that. And like, of course, I said this is an origin story. This is really more establishing why Bloodruth is in Forest Park and why she does what she does, per what Eric said in the Meet the Bloodruth video that was released basically alongside with the with the collection, I should say. And of course, we've got the Bloodruth plushie, which I haven't printed out a picture for this. And we've got a Riververse shaker bottle along with this campaign. And the first set of Dokuman cards is with this collection as well. So this is a really solid choice in terms of merchandise, in terms of book covers, which we'll get into as well. So I'm really happy with this. I'm sure the fans are as well. They're doing CGCs with this, which is, really essential for number one, especially with Bloodruth, considering how well the fans have responded to her. And of course, the fans are responding to this really well. $300,000 in, less than 2 days, and it just being dropped on Halloween morning is definitely something that is really fun. And they wanted to get this out by Halloween, the pre-order collection at least, and that's what they were able to do. So it's really fun. Of course, I always love having more stuff to hype up and build up. And this was definitely one I was really looking forward to and hoping I would be able to, get to sink my teeth into for Halloween. And it did happen. And hopefully sometime in January, we're able to get the books themselves, and I can, of course, I'll review it and read it and most likely enjoy because I love Yaira. But without further ado, let's get into the actual books themselves. Now, one of the really nice things is that when Bloodruth was first revealed as a book that was going to be happening with the Yaira #1 campaign, it was a stretch goal or a benchmark, as they called them, when they were doing those for campaigns. We of course, we obliterated that. We got like 1 million in like 24 hours. So they revealed that Bloodruth #1 was going to come out. And a lot of the fans were like, a black and white version of Bloodruth, because we had some line art that was revealed and that was in black and white. And people were like, a black and white version of this book would be really nice. And they made it happen because the fans wanted it. This cover is by Deborah Carita. I believe it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm really excited to get my hands on this one. Really excited to see what it looks like in black and white and comparing it to the colors. And of course, if you look at just, a colored page here, showing it off a little bit closer because I got the zoom out. But it looks really nice when it's colored. The black and white looks really nice as well. So of course, the colorist attached to this is Brett R. Smith, who does, looking like he's doing really good work with the interior art that Michael Montanet is doing. So this is going to be an absolute banger of a book visually, and to have that black and white art as well is really going to add to that horror aesthetic, I would think. But without further ado, we're going to get into the covers for Bloodruth #1, and there's 4 covers, which is basically the number they're settling into, and I think it's a pretty good number to have 4 covers. Sorry, I misspoke there. But this is cover A, Bond by Cannon White, colored by Jay Brown. So this is the one that we knew we had this reveal. Kanan does really great work for the Rippaverse. His covers are all fantastic. I believe he's done covers for basically every Rippaverse book. I believe, except for maybe like Art of Joe Bennett and the concept art book, and those. But basically, any mainline comic book from the Rippaverse, he's been involved in doing a cover. He's always done fantastic work. His his line work, his attention to detail, just everything he brings to his art is always fantastic, and I am so happy that he is just the art editor for the Rippaverse, and he's as deeply involved with the visual side of these comics as he is. And he definitely brings his A game to this cover of Bloodruth. So that's cover A. We're moving on to cover B. So this is definitely the more retro color. This is Joshua Burlow and Jay Brown who colored this. And again, this is a really nice one. This is definitely the more retro one. You've got the character box there. Hopefully, since this is just a mock-up and the final has the approved by the Rippaverse Code of Ethics, as all the retro covers have basically had. People really love the retro covers. The fans always responded to both of them. Gooding didn't have a retro cover, and the fans were really, I wouldn't say upset, but sad that they missed out on that one, right? Or missed out on having a retro cover, but it seems like Bloodruth is going to have one. Of course, this is the end of the Bloodruths, implying that it is, in fact, a family, or explicitly stating it's a family name. Bloodruth is definitely from a descendant of Blood Witches, which is where she gets her powers from. And this is introducing Hellions, Choke, Deer Tick Fae, and Morningstar, and the Master Therion himself. So, of course, this is introducing a lot of enemies. I always love those introduction boxes. That's how we know that there's going to be new characters. And I'm sure the Saskas are going to have an absolute field day with the mythos and the stories they can tell with a character like Bloodruth. Their horror is their bread and butter. So this is really exciting to see how they execute on that one. So I'm really, really excited for this. And of course, this is a fantastic cover. Joshua Burlow did a really great job on this cover. I love, the fact, you got Bloodruth there, you got the one there, and of course, you've got it all surrounded in this retro aesthetic, which people absolutely love. But moving on to cover C, which, except for Isom #1, cover C has settled into being the limited edition special cover. This is foiled and embossed. This is Wagner Reese who's doing this, or Wagner Reise, or however you say that last name. I just know Wagner is a German name, and you pronounce the W's like Reese. But this is definitely a more realistic one. This is more akin to the Mark Evans styles of covers that we saw with Alpha Core 1, cover D, Yara #1, color D, where it's got this realistic, really brushed style to it. You see her dragon, her 2 shadow wolves there. She's got the bird there, of course, the blood powers in full force. So this is definitely a really glorious cover. Of course, I love Bloodruth's style. She's got the coat there. She's got basically the bralette and the tight pants. So she's definitely a very attractive character. So she's definitely one that's not only eye-catching in terms of just, being this attractive woman, she's also got this air of mysticism about her with, the blood powers and it coming from a family line. And now with that trailer hinting at the fact that this goes back to being basically like a covenant with God himself, Adonai there. So there's all these little tiny details about Bloodruth that we're learning that makes her even more of an interesting character rather than just a piece of eye candy, which is, it's both very nice that she's attractive, she's nice to look at, and of course she's just intriguing as a character, which is, the way you can do it in comics. These aren't mutually exclusive things. Rippaverse has definitely proven that. Yaira is a very attractive character. She's also very intriguing. Another character that the Saska sisters got to write for the first issue for her. They're writing the first issue for Bloodruth, and hopefully they stay attached to both books, because I really love Yaira #1. I'm most likely going to love Bloodruth #1, even though I'm not a horror guy. I am a Rippaverse guy, and I just want to learn more about this intriguing universe. And definitely Bloodruth is probably the most intriguing character because she can travel dimensions, and only Dokumon can travel dimensions. So we've got that, and we've got cover D, done by Michael Montanet, the man who is doing the interior artwork. And Jay Brown is coloring it. He colored all of the covers except for color C. Marcos Martins colored cover C. All the other covers have been colored by Jay Brown, who is I believe he did Yara #1, but he's worked with the Rippaverse before. I know that much for sure. So this is the mass print cover. This is basically a family portrait. So we knew from Dokumon's card on Bloodruth that she was the youngest and only daughter. So you see, that there's the mother, father, most likely, 2 brothers, and then she's got her 2 shadow wolves there right next to her. And of course, you've got the blood splatters on the white background. Definitely gives you that horror vibe. You've got, I believe it's probably Master Furion himself in the background looking all menacing and imposing. So this is a really nice cover. This is great to have as the mass print cover. Absolutely love this one. So hopefully, we get this sooner rather than later. Q1 2025. That technically ends in March, but I'm sure since the collection is ending January 20th, fulfillment's probably going to begin right after that. It might even be a week or soon before. They just have to get all their ducks in a row with having everything bagged and boarded. Of course, having all the CGC covers, CGC books in as well, because they're doing a signature series for these for these books. So basically having covers of Bloodruth in that golden slab, just like that. But that's really all I have to mention about Bloodruth itself. Of course, you can talk a little bit more about that. Horseman is hit $700,000, which is a really nice benchmark for it to hit. So the fans are absolutely loving the Rippaverse. Achromatic Chronicles is closing in on that $50,000 mark, I believe, last time I checked. So there is definitely a lot to buy if you're interested in the Rippaverse. Horseman is still ongoing with its pre-collection, or with its collection. You can still pre-order that, of course, and that should be beginning fulfillment sometime this month. And of course, we're still going to have Bloodruth to hype up. We just got the announcement of Zalen at SpaceCon, which was a perfect place to do it. So there's definitely a lot of stuff. They're going to keep on going up and up. You've got the shaker bottle and the plushie, which I didn't print out pictures for, but you can go and you can see the shaker bottle and the plushie. Those look like they'll be really high quality, and it's definitely a really good collection for Bloodruth #1. It's got about as much stuff as a campaign. They're not hyping it up, marketing as much as a campaign, treating it more like a collection, but it's got enough offerings for it to be a really solid campaign. So personally, as someone who's gone in on every single one of these, collections, campaigns, I'm really satisfied with this. I, just love that, they just dropped these things and they did it on Halloween. Perfect time for Bloodruth to get released for the fans. And we learned just a little bit more. And of course, that first set of Dokumon cards coming along with Bloodruth's campaign is going to be really interesting. So to see, more of Dokumon's archives is really nice. Didn't print out a picture of that. It looks like they're using the same art that they did for the second box. So far, they might have a different design that's just not finalized yet. I'm not sure about that, but we will see. What's more interesting is definitely the cards themselves, and of course the backs of the cards, someone who's interested in the lore. But I think with that, I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Braxcast, and Joker is out. Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.